There is no one greater than Jesus Christ of Nazareth ever to exist on the face of this planet. I belong to that Jesus. I fear no one, and I fear nothing. Understand?
So, Wednesday night, I didn't sleep so good. Nightmares. Having nightmares again. Thankfully, I do things to where I don't really remember, but these were powerful, and I still remember snippets. I'm not gonna describe them because it's just bad. It is bad. It was bad. I didn't sleep. And you guys know the rule. If I call off work, it's called off work. I'm like, I can't go to work with no fucking sleep. Like I can't do it. I'll do something stupid. I'll not pay attention. I'll wreck the truck. I can't fucking do it. So I texted the boss, hey man, ain't gonna make it in today. No sleep. He sent back, okay. This is my first official call off this year, because all the other times I've had to call off for this kind of shit, I took vacation. So this is my first official call off. Sucks. I was hoping to get through the rest of the year without doing that shit, but the way it goes. One thing I want to mention right out of the gate is there was two things that I got wrong, and then I'll kind of spin into the video. The first thing I got wrong was it was reported that the first guy that the police had detained was somebody who turned themselves in to befuddle the police and give time to the shooter to get away. I was angry about that. I didn't like that. I thought that was fucked up. And everything I said about that stands. If you do that. But, it was not the case. The guy was released. I don't think they would have released him had he done that. But he was released, so that was untrue. And that's a big reason why sometimes it takes me a week or a couple of days to make a video on something, because I don't want to do that shit to where I have to do this shit. It's a stupid conversation, right? It's the thing I tell my boss all the time. Whenever you know, be talking about people fucking around and doing bad stuff, and I'll be like, yeah, I don't fuck around and do bad stuff because I don't want to have a stupid phone call. And he's always like, what? And I'm like, I don't want you to have to call me and ask the question of, why didn't you do your job? Because then I have to come up with a stupid fucking reason of why I didn't do my job, which was most likely, because I did. It's a stupid fucking conversation. It's a stupid fucking phone call. You shouldn't have to do that. I'm not your fucking child. And he's like, I like that. So, it's a stupid fucking conversation to have. I heard some shit, made me mad. Said some shit, guess what? Not quite the case. But these things happen in the heat of the moment. The second thing I got wrong was I lumped Charlie in with like Crowder and Ben Shapiro, Matt Walsh, the guys that are kind of smarmy and shitty with their delivery. And I was like, you know, I haven't really watched. I've never watch Charlie Kirk. I would see like the whatever the fuck they call them, the little shorts, the shorts on YouTube. I would see him in shorts, and every time I saw him in shorts, I was like, makes sense to me. You know what I mean? Like I never really had any disagreements with him. It was just I kind of lumped him in with all those guys because I don't know. I always saw him talking to kids on campus, so I just kind of was like, I don't know what the fuck's going on there. And so I decided today, I was like, I should probably watch some Charlie Kirk. And so yesterday and today, I watched like 2 of his hour or so long campus tour videos. And I thought he's brilliant. He's very smart. He's very well spoken. Very clean. Man knows his shit. He's ripping out fucking verbatim the immigration law. Section 284.326 fucking Section 9. It says this shit. Like, he's ripping all that stuff out, and I'm like, he cares a hell of a lot more than I do, man. I just think it's funny, because I go, yeah, it's illegal. He's going to quote the shit for you. I just go, no, you're stupid, it's illegal. Like, it's illegal to be an illegal immigrant. So, I watched Charlie Kirk, and then I listened to the man, and then I realized why I never watched Charlie Kirk. And it isn't because of Charlie Kirk. I never watched Charlie Kirk. It's because he does the campus shit. It's because he's talking to kids. And I realized as I listened to him that he is not the smarmy little shit that I thought he was. Wrong. Wrong there. I admit it. And I listened to him and I think he's brilliant. I thought he was very on the ball. He's good at what he did. Man honed his fucking craft. It's another thing I tell people. Whenever if you're training with me, this is the first time you ever done this, yeah, make sure you hone your craft, man. Learn the job. Do it well. You know, like it's a good idea. Hone your craft, whatever it is. And man, guy had a razor's edge. He was honed. Thought he was brilliant. You know, I thought he was very generous. I thought he was very kind. I thought he is a saint. 'Cause I think that I would fucking kill myself if I had to answer 3 of those fucking retarded questions in a row. I'm sitting there listening to these kids argue with him, and I'm just like, oh my God, is this seriously what I hire institutions of education are pump? What the fuck? If their question even made sense, that was like huge. 'Cause most of the time, their questions don't make sense. And all they do is throw out the CNN talking points that I've been talking about for fucking ever. And I'm past that now. But man, he was willing to say the shit over and over and over to these kids. And they would come out with some stuff where I'm like, he's going to call him a retard. I know he's going to call him a retard. Because I am white knuckle grip on my fucking steering wheel screaming, you're a retard. He's going to call him a retard. And he goes, I'm not trying to pick on you. I just want to say this. And then he would just launch into an explanation of why that was retarded without calling him retarded. And I'm like, this man's amazing. Like, he's amazing. He's a saint. I honestly think everybody's like, oh, Charlie Kirk's in heaven now. And I'm like, yeah, I bet you. I bet. Because he was a fucking saint. He put up with him. And I'm like, damn. That's just amazing. I think he's amazing. I think he was amazing. And I think it's monumentally sad. Like, the whole situation is just tragic. Guy was caught. In case you didn't know, they caught the guy. We got him. Came out and said we got him. I'm like, dude, we got to move on from that. I want to go back to at this time and this day we caught the motherfucker. Like, I want to go back to at least some sort of we got him. Like, well, all right, we got him. Don't know his name. He's not that important. Got up on the roof. We got camera angle footage of him crawling on the roof, crawling off the roof, whatever the fuck it is. Found his rifle. He had stupid things. Like, one of them didn't even make any sense to me. It was like, ooh, baba, ooh, baba, ooh, baba, ooh, baba. I'm like, what in the fuck is that even supposed to be? I don't get it. Another one was, like, hey, fascists, catch. Clever. My favorite bullet etching, my favorite, was, if you're reading this, you're gay. LMAO. Like, I never understand the left. I'll never understand the left. Because that one alone, you would think would piss some people on the left off. Like, what is that supposed to mean? If you're reading this, you're gay. What is that supposed to mean? You want to shoot gay people? Do you not like gay people? Is being gay a bad thing to you? No, he's just retarded. He's just a fucking idiot. Idiot with a gun. At a good angle. Can do a lot of damage. No, I'm actually a fan of Charlie Kirk now. I like listening to him talk to the kids. Honestly, half of the time I can't understand what the fuck they're even asking. So I just kind of suffer through the children. And then when Charlie talks, I'm like, oh, okay, now I can actually relate. But yeah, whatever. It is what it is. It's very sad. But he seemed on his shit. I liked him. I liked him a lot. So yeah, that's another thing I gotta correct. Charlie Kirk is actually good watching. So, yeah, they got him. Anti-gay slurs, and Antifa slogans, shit like that. Whatever. He's just a piece of shit. Like, he's just another piece of shit. The guy that stabbed the girl on the train or the bus the day before. We all had that going on. Everybody was talking about that. It's a piece of shit. Like, it's just a piece of shit. Like, honestly, I think that we fucking accept that they're just pieces of shit. Like, ultimately, when it boils down to it, we can talk about their hard fucking upbringing, and we could talk about their radicalism, and just a piece of shit. It's just pieces of shit. But in the race to be top piece of shit, he is in the lead. He is the piece of shit. He is the shit. And we got him. So, we are going to prosecute him to the fullest extent of the law. I can only imagine. They're going to probably throw a death penalty at him. Cool. Fine with that. They're going to probably go for life in prison. If not that, not ideal. It's I would call that suboptimal, yet acceptable. So far nobody's done anything. I don't know about you, but I'm still kind of holding my breath, waiting. But everybody's keeping their shit together. You know, we're 48 hours later now, pretty much. Everybody's still keeping their shit together, right? So we're all either cool or we're still in the planning phases. If we're still in the planning phases, we need to dial that back to cool. We're cool. It happened. It sucks. We got him. He's fucked. We move on. We stay the course. We do what we need to do. We don't lose our shit. Right? But if it's a race to be the biggest asshole and the shooter's obviously in the lead, who's in second place? Fucking MSNBC. They've had to fire like 3 people and deliver like 8 fucking apologies. And we're not even 2 days later. I'm like, one dumbass is like, well, I mean, we don't even know what happened. This could have been like a Charlie Kirk supporter who was shooting his gun off in celebration. Which, on the face of it, is still only like the 12th fucking most retarded thing that somebody fucking said. That, man. Well, you know, Donald Trump is going to use this to do something. And I'm like, good. I hope he does. I hope he uses this to do something. Like, I hope something good comes of this. Like, I hope we do something. I mean, obviously we need to talk about guns. Except, as I've heard reported, he did not obtain that gun legally. Which kind of makes me go, well, yeah, you see, that's the flaw in the law, is that people will break it. And the problem that I have with guns is when people use those tools to break the law. But I'm not going to blame the guns. They're tools. If we start giving up our tools, I mean, how many fucking chainsaw murders do we need to have after we've collected all the guns before we go, well, now you can't have chainsaws? How many car murders do we need to have after we've collected all the guns and the chainsaws before we can't have cars? And then now that we can't have guns, chainsaws, cars, we got knife problems. Those gotta go. So we got hammer problems. Those gotta go. Where does it end? Where does it stop? So, I think what we should focus on is that he got his gun illegally and he did a bad thing with it. A really fucking bad thing. Big bad. Big bad. You guys still support 2A? Fuck yeah. I wish there was a guy with a bigger gun, with a bigger, better scope, on a bigger building, shooting that motherfucker before he could have shot Charlie. We didn't have that situation. That'd have been sweet. But these are our options. That's why we need to find the fucker that gave him the gun. We need to follow the chain and arrest everybody involved in this. Everybody. Anybody. I don't care. And as far as the shooter's skill, Like, look, I'm going to say this, and I know some people's buttholes are going to clench up when I do. Hear me out. I bet you this guy played first-person shooters. Simulators. Right? We simulate doing things so that we can effectively learn in a practical manner what we're doing. Right? I've played Surgeon Simulator, and I know how to cut somebody open with a chainsaw, because that game taught me. And I also know how to kind of fling organs around, right? It's kind of more murder simulator. When it really comes down to it, let's be honest, like, nobody's really good at that game, nevertheless. But yeah, I've played a lot of, like, gun games, you know. First-person shooters, played a lot of them. A lot of them. There's a lot of them out there, and a lot of them are fun. I've played a fuck ton of Destiny. I've also played games like Sniper Elite, right? That actually take in windage and drop and things of that nature, right? Played a lot of games. And one day, I was at my uncle's place, and they were fucking around in the backyard shooting BBs at a target on a, like a shoebox. And I was like, alright, cool. And I was like, can I play around with it? And he was like, sure. I think there's like 9 BBs left in there. I'm like, alright, cool. And my cousin's kid puts a new target up there. And I'm like, take it out there a ways. And he's like, alright. He takes it out 100 feet. You know what I mean? Like, not far. Not hundreds of yards. Not 200 yards. No. 100 feet, maybe. And I went prone. Well, I didn't go prone. I went knee. And I'm like, what? How's the scope? Where's my center? And he goes, you want to go up about 1/4 of an inch and then 1/4 of an inch right. And that should have you center. I'm like, alright, cool. So I take my first shot slightly down from the bullseye. And I'm like, alright. A 1/2 inch. 1/2 inch up, 1/2 inch over. Whatever. So I shoot my next shot right in the center. I thought it was very cool, because I'm looking at it in the scope, and I thought it was very cool. And I had actually been playing around with handguns for a while. I've got a 22 that I've taken to shoot a couple times, and I got my 9mm that I've never shot. But yeah, I used to take the 22 that ranged bunches, and I played around with shooting guns. And I've played a lot of simulators. So second shot hits the bullseye, and then I just shoot every single fucking round of the rest of the rounds right through that bullseye. And my cousin's kid sitting there looking, and my uncle's sitting there with binoculars, right? And he's like, he keeps missing. And my uncle goes, nope, he ain't missing. Because I'm pipping the same fucking hole over and over again. Now look, you go out 200 meters, I bet you I can make that shot. Like, I think everybody's giving this guy a lot more credit. I don't think the Jews are involved. I don't think he was an Israeli hitman. I know we want to inevitably drive everybody to hate the Jews, but just for some odd fucking reason, I don't think this is the case. Don't get me wrong. Who knows? We could find out that he is indeed a Jewish spy that has decided to be activated and fucking shoot Charlie Kirk. I don't buy it. That'll have to come out in court for me to go, oh shit. But yeah. Yeah, MSNBC definitely right underneath the shooter in the race of asshole. But neck and neck, I think, with the shooter. Not by deed. I'm not equating the deeds. It's the vile nature of it. It's a vile thing for a human being to kill another human being, especially in such a way. Especially from what I've heard reported, his wife and kids were there. Like, dude, this is painful and tragic on so many levels. But people that I think are just more vile, maybe even than him, are the people on TikTok and Twitter that are celebrating this shit. I knew it was going to happen because people are fucking stupid. But nevertheless, like, I don't know. Whatever. That's their right. But I think you're fucking disgusting. And I don't want anything to do with you. Apparently a lot of game developers, not surprising to me, are about to put out games that will not sell. Yet again. Because they're fucking retarded. And I think good for them. Keep being fucking retarded. You do you. And I'll do me and have nothing to fucking do with you. Or your projects or anything you work on or anything you fucking do. I'm cool. So, fucking Stephen King. Fucking Stephen King posted that Charlie Kirk said that he wanted to stone gay people to death. Stephen King was quickly fucking corrected. And then Stephen King wrote out an apology to like 5 or 6, like he put out like 5 or 6 apologies, and then just started putting, I apologize for this, and then I see that the last post from Stephen King, the latest thing that he posted, was a little video of him promoting a movie and a book, and I'm like, so a bunch of game developers are currently developing a bunch of games that will never be bought. And Stephen King is pimping a movie and a book that nobody will see or read. But whatever, man. Like, people are losing their jobs. It's crazy. It's almost like when the left was in control, and they were doing that to everybody that said that men shouldn't compete against women in sports. They were doing that to everybody that said, I ain't getting a fucking COVID shot. They were doing that to everybody that said, I ain't wearing a fucking mask. They were doing that shit to everybody. Now it's happening to you. This is why we have things that happen and we go, that is a bridge too far. Right? Charlie Kirk's dead. That is a bridge too far. I don't want to walk across this bridge again. But someday, another Democrat politician is going to get shot or some shit like that. And then it's going to be, oh, you cared about him, but you don't care about her. And everybody's going to go, no, we care about that person too. It's just, that person is somebody who died, and we said, that's wrong. Shouldn't do that. I hope they catch him. I hope they prosecute him. I hope they execute him. Shouldn't do that. That's wrong. But like, nobody was like cheering about it. Nobody was happy about that shit. Right? it was the thing that everybody kind of universally went, oh, that's bad. It's just you didn't pay attention when we said it, so that in the future you can go, well, you didn't say shit about this. And we're going to play that stupid fucking game. And I don't care to. I don't. I like what Charlie Kirk's wife said. She's determined to continue to do Charlie Kirk's work. Good for her, man. That's fucking awesome. I think she's going to be amazing. I want to see righteous anger on stage. Ugh. Yeah. But, yeah. At the end of the day, this is the cost of living in a godless society. If there's a God, if there's judgment, if there's eternal reward or eternal suffering, then there are bridges too far. There are things you just don't do. Right? Like if human life matters, then there's things that you don't do. But like the left doesn't mind murdering a baby inside its mother. They're fine with that. There isn't a bridge too far with them. That is about as far of a bridge as you can fucking cross before you just jump off into the ocean. Like, that's a long fucking bridge. That is way too far. Charlie Kirk was a 31-year-old man with a wife and 2 kids. They don't care about babies inside of their mothers. You expect them to give a fuck about anyone else? Life means nothing to these people. Nothing. So when you start calling everybody Hitler and everybody's a Nazi, everybody's evil, everybody's going to destroy the world, everybody's going to take away all your rights, everybody's going to throw you in prison just because of whatever. Like, this motherfucker's out there thinking that he's shooting Goebbels. He's killing Hitler. He's killing Nazis. He's righteous. He's the good guy here. That's how it plays out in their fucking minds. That's why they're happy about it. When the word got out that Hitler had killed himself, I imagine there was fucking parades. Right? But we can all kind of agree that Hitler was a bad man. But like a whole lot of people don't agree that Charlie Kirk was a bad man. So, yeah, when you go out and celebrate, that is your First Amendment right. But you will suffer the consequences of what you say. Isn't that what you always told us? Here we are. Wait a minute. Isn't that what people are saying right now? Charlie Kirk is suffering the consequences of what he said? And they're getting fired for that shit. Suffering the consequences of what you said. Now we're understanding how freedom of speech works. Yeah, you can say whatever you want. But anybody can say whatever they want to right back at you. That's the problem. But that's the cost of living in a godless society. Human life means nothing to us now. So maybe we should not bother to try communism or socialism, right? Maybe we should not bother to try all these things that have already been tried. Like, I understand, you think you're brilliant and you ain't gonna make it fucking work. You're not that fucking brilliant. You're actually fucking retarded, which is why you think you're brilliant enough to make this shit work, because it don't work. Right? So, how about we try something that actually did work at one point in time? How about we go back to being a God-fearing society? How about that? Right? How about we go back to saying, probably shouldn't kill people, because that could be really bad for a very, very long time someday in the future. Like, that's a bad idea. You know, we should really not do that sort of thing. Like, how about we go back to living in a God-fearing society? I like that idea. I think it's a great idea. And who knows? Charlie Kirk could be the catalyst that starts that to happen. I hope so. I think that'd be great. But one good thing that has started to blossom out of this is I've seen a video chock full of TikToks of liberals, ex-liberals and ex-Democrats that are now like the celebration of Charlie Kirk's death. That has really turned me off from the Democrats, and I think I'm not going to side with them anymore. Like, I'm done. I'm good. Like, I'm out. And I was like, yes. It's the paradox of political violence. You shoot one guy, and you make 10 more that are just now getting their shit together. They're getting their little camera, right? They're figuring out their set. They're doing the little videos, and more than a couple of them are probably going to come right up, and it's going to be great. And a whole bunch of people are heartbroken, and it is going to make them fucking vigilant, man. A whole lot of people are like, nope, I'm going to get active now. A whole lot of people got activated. A whole lot of kids got activated. Right? A whole lot of kids got activated. And a whole lot of people now are disgusted with their own side. They're like, I can't believe that he's still a fucking human being. Because they're beginning to realize, oh my God, I'm siding with the party that have no souls. And that's not cool. Like, it isn't something that you can quantify, really. Because we don't know what kind of ripple this is going to send through the pool of time, right? But it's entirely possible that Charlie Kirk being killed in this way, in this time, right now. Charlie Kirk could wind up doing more good throughout the rest of the future than he could have possibly done if he would have lived to a full life. It's crazy to think about. I mean, I'm not saying that Charlie wasn't going to do a lot of good. I'm sure Charlie would have done a lot of good all the way up until he died at the ripe old age of 85 or whatever. But I'm just saying, like, this sort of thing injects a whole different element into the situation. So, yeah, I don't know. It's very sad. Try to look on the bright side of it, I guess. But nevertheless, children no longer have their father. My wife no longer has her husband. And it's all because this kid felt stupid. He had some belief that he was really fervent in, and he watched some video of Charlie Kirk, and Charlie Kirk made him feel stupid. So Charlie Kirk had to die. There you go. Don't make him feel. Don't let him make you feel stupid. Don't do something stupid. Again, the paradox of political violence. Don't do it. It's dumb. It always has a disproportionate opposite reaction. So, yeah. So far we're cool.